Hi, let's start again, shall we? As I was just talking for 10 minutes and I was muted. Oh, honestly, I can't believe I did that. Right, so here we are again. Um, Hopefully the viewers that were viewing me silent might pop back on. So, the reason for this second live, the irony is I did a live earlier on, and when I watched it back, I noticed that the sound quality of my last live wasn't very good. So I thought, right, I'll try another one and see if it's better. And then I managed to mute myself, so I spoke for 10 minutes in silence. Anyway, hope this sound is better. And I've been having some real fun with the virtual backgrounds on StreamYard. So I just wanted to share this and inspire a little conversation about the dream photography experience. What is your dream photography experience? And this scene behind me, that's the photo that I took in Kenya many years ago. It was on my old Canon camera that I recently, about 6 months ago, came back into my life. The gentleman that I sold it to all those years ago gave it back. And it, as you can see, it inspired me to paint. Some years later, I painted that scene. I just realized how the people aren't big enough and the perspective is maybe a little bit out on things. But I love the hazy, on the photo, I really love the hazy, dusty atmosphere. But I wasn't very confident then at asking people if I can photograph them. So, and I see street photographers going up to strangers and asking them if they can photograph them. And I think that's really, really brave. And it's something that I would like to get better at. I didn't photograph the people of Africa very much for this reason. I felt like it might be a bit of an invasion of their privacy, and I just didn't have the confidence to ask, so I didn't take many pictures. But this was one that I did, and I absolutely love it. These children were like the happiest, most joyful children in the world. They were just so smiley and happy. It was amazing. And they had so little, So this was definitely one of my favorite photography experiences was Africa. And I did a trip on the Masai Mara. I might be repeating myself if you're regular on my channel, but yeah, it was absolutely incredible. And this is, I think that the dream photography experience, I think that depends on where you are in your life and what you need at the time, and what, you might feel like you need action in your life and music. And so, for example, for me, one of my dream photography experiences for the future is to be on the stage with the band Metallica. I just thought, I hope the sound is working now. There's nobody there to just confirm it. I'll just keep going. Yeah, so I would love one day to be on the stage with the band for Metallica. That's one of my things. But what's your dream photography experience? Does it include travel like here? Does it include being in the rainforest looking for animals to capture? I think some of my favorite photography experiences have been when I've been able to uplift somebody who's maybe struggling. I've got somebody watching now. Is my sound working okay? Could you just let me know in the comments, please? Thank you. Yeah, when I've been with somebody who's maybe not feeling great about themselves, or they're maybe feeling a bit deflated, and I've managed to, by photographing them and giving them some pictures of themselves that they love, just the transformation in that can be absolutely life-changing. It really can. And so I think my favorite photography experiences are always connected to watching that person that I'm with come alive, like relax in my company and then express themselves, and and just watching somebody be uplifted by what you're doing is just such an incredible thing. I've got 2 people watching. Can either of you just confirm that you can hear what I'm saying? Because I've had a few issues with the audio. So what is your dream photography experience? And it doesn't, like, does it include making your photography into a career? Would you really love your photography to be a career, but you don't know how you're going to make that work? Or sometimes I think we can overthink. We don't know how something's going to happen, so we almost resist it, or like block it from happening because we can't figure out how. So we push it away. I know that I do that sometimes. And there's a great saying, you don't have to see the whole staircase, you just have to take the first step. And I mean, I met some oh yeah, here's some other of my favorite photography experiences. Some people that I've helped set up their photography businesses. One gentleman, Callum, and another lady who I saw online the other day. She just won the award for best wedding photographer, and I was there at the beginning of her journey, and I helped her, and she used to come to weddings with me and shadow me and things. And that is just such a lovely experience, watching somebody grow as a photographer. So that's definitely in my top photography experiences. I know from my own experiences how life-changing and powerful a really good shoot of yourself can be. And I remember John Bigglestone. For those of you that are new to my channel, John is the gentleman who this channel is in memory of. We were very, very close. Both photographers, used to love going to London with John, and I just used to help out at his shoots and worked with him since I was about 15. And I remember after I'd had my son, I was going through a very, very scary, scary time in my life. And there was a lot of trauma, a lot of scary stuff going on. And I actually had a nervous breakdown. And I just remember being in this complete state of absolute confusion, fear, and horrible, horrible experiences. And I remember, because I like going through this horrible breakdown, I remember losing loads of weight. And after a few weeks, I remember looking in the mirror thinking, God, you're really skinny. And then I thought, oh, I could do some modeling now. So I contacted John, and he said, come in for a photo shoot. And I look at this picture, I'm going to show you. You might not be able to see it very well because of the screen, but this photo shoot changed my life. Honestly, it did. Da, da, da. It's a bit funny because it's a virtual. Oh, there we go. So, I mean, this is not going to do it justice whatsoever, but this photo shoot of me with John, absolutely. I remember that photo shoot was a turning point for me. I was so excited when I saw the pictures, and we spent hours and hours and hours in the studio together, getting the lighting absolutely perfect, and it was we had lighting coming from behind, lighting at the front, but we were both perfectionists. So when we got together in the studio, we were just there for hours, and it would be like the light isn't quite right on my toe or something, and we'd have to be there for ages just getting it right. And I just remember that photo shoot being the absolute turning point, because when I was there modeling for John, I wasn't caught up in my mind. I wasn't in my fear. I wasn't in everything that was going on. I got myself out the house into that studio, and that was the best thing I could do at that time, because it gave me this little bit of light to hold on to. We had an amazing experience in the studio, and then not just that, but then I had the photos to look forward to, and I knew he was editing them, and we shared the editing experience. So I know from experience that a good photo shoot at the right time with the right photographer can absolutely change your life. Yeah. And that's what I want to give to other people. That's what I want to do for other people. I want to help uplift people, inspire people, help people set up their photography businesses, help them take that leap of faith and just go for it and be there, and just instill that confidence that John instilled in me, not just as a photographer but as a model. And when you can help somebody on their journey like that, it's incredible. I'm really waffling, aren't I? So but I don't have anyone viewing right now that's giving anything away as to what their dream photography experience is. So would you like to photograph somebody in the studio, but you're a little bit nervous? Like, I think I've got a friend who's a wildlife photographer, and he absolutely loves his wildlife photography. And he goes up to these lakes and he sits and he waits and he watches really beautiful, just that stillness, And like I said, I think it depends where you are in your life and what you need as to what your dream experience is. Because, if you just need some headspace, getting out in nature for some nourishing, natural sunlight and everything can be the best thing ever. But I kind of get the feeling that he wants to kind of branch out a little bit and try some studio photography with a model, but I think it's a little bit out of his comfort zone, and he's a little bit nervous about that. So I'm always digging a little bit deeper when I meet photographers, because I always want to know, why are you doing this? What is it about photography that you love, and what do you want to do, but you haven't quite you haven't built up the courage to try it yet. I can literally hear my heartbeat in these headphones. See, when we do something for the first time, it's really outside of the comfort zone. But as we do it more and more, it becomes less and less scary, which is what I'm learning about going on Zoom. And it's really good to do the things that are scary. I feel like, for me, it's good to do them spur of the moment, because then it's not a big deal that there's this big old build up to on the calendar. I find that if you just throw yourself in and just give it a go, you'll learn so much in doing it. But there's a tendency, I think, if you over things that you don't know the answer to, and you're trying to run through it in your mind how you would do it, but you don't have all the answers. So then it becomes stressful, doesn't it? Whereas I think if you just put yourself in a situation where you're doing something that you'd love to see yourself doing and doing well, but you're a little bit nervous, just do it, I've got 4 people with me. That's really nice. I'm just taking a little bit of a breather and The other thing is I've always I absolutely love being outside and like exploring. I think a massive part of a sense of freedom is that exploring, the sense of just going somewhere that you don't know with a camera and just capturing what you see and being up high. I'm curious about being up really high in the trees. There was a nature program that I watched, and they were in these like hammocks up really, really high in the trees. And I thought, yeah, I think they were photographing gorillas, you know. And I think the things that you're curious about, like they say, if you don't know what your passion is, start with following what you're curious about, you know, something that's a little bit of a challenge. And this is what Aikigyao, is it called Aikigyao or something? Says something. Hi, thank you. I've got a gentleman here just saying that he agrees with me about exploring. You've not been before. Tell me where you'd like to go and explore. Yeah, there's something about something being a challenge enough that it's slightly out of your comfort zone, but not so hard that you can't get started, but not so easy that you'll be bored. And I really connect with that. I really, really connect with that. I think it's really important to keep exercising something that's slightly out of the comfort zone and stepping into something new, just to keep that freshness and learning and keep your interest, you know, and keep progressing. So, yes, I'm going to be doing more exploring in the D3 diaries. Really stay tuned for my D3 diaries. It's going to be a lot of fun. As I said in my last live, I've already started it. I photographed all Floyd. I photographed an animal communication evening, which was amazing. The energy in that room was incredible. That's what I love about being in photographing spiritual retreats, because I can kind of just bathe in the energy, and it's extremely healing. And it's always really, really uplifting. And sometimes when I come out of those environments, I feel very inspired to write or paint or draw. It's very, very nourishing. And I've also, as I was saying, photographed a lady with not very much on, which was a lot of fun just in her house. So that's all coming up. I very much like to explore the Scottish Highlands. Yes, it's 20. Oh, that's interesting. I've got a gentleman here. Oh, amazing. I don't know what you mean by early pensioner. We did the Scottish, we did the ends. Well, I think we did 3/4 of the NC 500. That was in 2003. Right, okay. Yeah, you see, I think it's one of the dangers is we'll save the thing that we want to do. We'll save it and save it and save it, and then we'll never do it. And like with my last motorbike, I always said one day I'll have an MV Augusta. And then my son said to me in lockdown, buy that motorbike you've always wanted, just buy it now. And I did. And I thought, you know what, if I hadn't have done it then, I probably never would have done it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I had a car accident in 2013, and I couldn't lift my camera for 9 months. And it was actually the turning point. I ended up painting, as you can see from this picture behind me. So because I couldn't lift my camera, but I could lift a paintbrush, I was still able to do something creative. And for me personally, I've always looked at the car accident as the door opening to something else, because it stopped me doing what I realize now I didn't even actually really want to do, because I was chasing work that I kind of had already done a lot of and didn't really want to do it. But oh, thank you. This gentleman's just complimenting my painting. Yeah, this was one of my favorite photography experiences, and it inspired me to paint. And yeah, I think we have all these hidden talents that we don't know about until something happens that makes space in our lives for us to explore another part of ourselves that would perhaps otherwise remain uncovered. And this painting experience is one of them. And during lockdown as well, you know, when we were locked down and I moved and I was just in this massive forest, was when I picked up a pen and wrote a book. And I'd never really written before. So I think it's easy to assume, oh, this is my skill and that's it. And I'll just work on that and get better and better and better. And I've always kind of hated the saying jack of all trades. Like, people have said to me before, oh, you're a jack of all trades. And I hate that, because, you know, I know the next bit is master of none. And, you know, I get really annoyed. But more recently, I've kind of started to laugh at that, because I think actually anything creative is just your language with the world, the way that you communicate with the world and the way that you process anything you're going through and make sense of life. Certainly for me, you make sense in the break that you get from your mind when something else takes over and you suddenly discover this wisdom or answers to your questions that you had that you didn't even realize you knew the answers. And I think very often that will come in these creative pursuits, whether it's singing, music, dancing, photography, writing, art, whatever it might be. And so that saying, jack of all trades, master of none, I've changed it in my mind, right? So if anyone ever says it to me again, I've changed it in my mind to jack of all trades, master of myself. Because I think if you can master yourself and get to know yourself well enough that the hurdles in life and the challenges that come up, you're able to operate from a position of knowing what kind of tool you need and what you can call upon within yourself from your learning from the past to help you learn the lessons that this challenge is giving you, or stay calm in the chaos, or stay motivated when you're not well or your energy dips, or see a gift in a situation that's really hurt you, or take control of your health. Find that tiny bit of energy to get back into positive, good, nourishing habits. If you've got those tools, if you've got that ability to be the master of yourself, everything else surely just follows, right? Like, isn't that the most important thing we can do with our lives, is to be the master of ourselves? I'm just sniffing my essential oils. It's this one's called Peace. It's very nice. I'm just going to read this comment a second. Yeah, thank you. I love that. Thank you. It's really nice to have you online with me. It's really nice to have this conversation going. yes, I think it's really easy to throw in these sayings, jack of all trades, without really appreciating the depth of the person. And I've always, I guess I'd love to take the best photos I've ever taken in 2024. And I suppose I am very hard on myself because I look back at the work that I've done before and I think, yeah, you peaked then, you've already peaked. That's it now. And I think my technical knowledge is not as strong as this burning passion and desire to create art within me, right? So I think sometimes if you've got an artist that just needs to bring this creative energy out, just needs to bring that out. And perhaps they're not so practiced. They don't know how to bring this feeling out into a language, like to express it how it looks in the mind. Like I can have the most beautiful vision in my mind, and then I think, well, I'm not going to do that vision justice, and I think that's where just being connected energetically helps you almost create miracles. Like when I was in that lady's house the other day, and that we were just trying to find some nice light. You'll see anyway when I share the pictures, but you can't always think your way to an amazing result in photography, is what I'm saying. You could have the perfect camera settings, the best kit in the world. You're faced with this amazing scene, right? And you've got everything you need. You've got every right lens. You've got the best camera you could get. The lighting's perfect. But if you don't feel a connection to that scene, or you don't see it with the eyes of consciousness, you might miss the story that wants to be told, and I think that takes that story that wants to be told, or that thing in your heart is the thing that brings and can bring your photography or art or any creative pursuit to a whole new level. It goes beyond the mind. It goes beyond figuring it out. It goes beyond the equipment. There is a lightness that takes you, and you are in a state of divine creation. And that is the biggest gift that we can give ourselves as photographers, is the space to get us to help ourselves fall into that energy. And it's not it's where we enjoy photography, because as I'm sure you guys know, you can have a hobby that you've loved all your life. You can absolutely adore photography, and then you can go into a space in your life where you feel depressed and low and heavy and maybe unwell, and your love for that thing that you used to love can go away, and you can actually not want to pick up a camera, or you might not want to go and sow those tomato seeds in the greenhouse this year because you just feel a bit rubbish. And so you've still got all the knowledge of how to do it. You've still got all the equipment. You've still got everything you need. But if your energy is not there, Or if you've been doing photography for a while and you think, oh yeah, I've got this job coming up, but you haven't got that passion and that excitement about it anymore, you're only ever going to probably produce what you're feeling inside. Unless, of course, when you get there, that is the thing that uplifts you. And it really is all about how we feel inside and mastering ourselves and knowing really what we need, and knowing that sometimes we might talk ourselves out of something, but it's actually knowing from something deeper what it is that we need. And it might be social interaction, it might be being with people, it might be being around a group of people that uplift you, and just take you away from your troubles at home. Or it might be having some time to yourself and just sitting in a dark room and having to speak to nobody and just get your strength back. It might be more exercise or a better diet, or just these lifestyle things. Or it might be trying a new creative thing to give your photography a little bit of space, because to take the best photographs, it's not always just going to be practice, 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 practice. You might just need to go do something else for a week and then come back to it. Right, I've really, really talked way too much, and I'm probably repeating myself. So I think I might leave it there. This has been so much fun, and it's been really nice to just gibber on and have you in the comments. Thank you very much for just sharing a little bit of your story. Yeah, I'm just watching the comments. Can everybody else see the comments? It's quite good fun having the comments on there. So I'm going to do more of this. I'm going to do more lives. If you've got any ideas, if anybody would like to jump on with me as well and join in sometime, that would be really good too. So I'm going to sign off now, say goodbye. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got something out of it. And no worries. You can always comment on this video after it's gone live. It will be on my channel on the live section. So if you remember what you're going to say, please do comment, and I'll see you in the comments section on the video. All right, take care, guys. See you soon. Bye. Thank you for being with me. Bye.